My pregnant wife blew up at our landlord after he was being nice and offered us a $500 discount on our rent because she thought he was pitying us. So am I wrong for blowing up at her after he took back the offer? We rent. We rent a 2-bedroom house from this man who we'll call G. And G basically is older, retired military. That best describes him. And this man has been nothing but nice to us, far nicer than either our parents have ever been. See, we live in California, and the going rate for a 2-bedroom house is $2,600. We first saw this house listed. It said $2,500, price negotiable. But we were skeptical because it said that the tenants, he had to meet with the tenants first. G wanted to meet with whoever was going to stay there before everything was finalized. We met with G. We gave him our story. I don't know if he felt sorry for us, if we had a soft spot or what, but he offered us the house and to rent it for only $1,600 a month. We have been living in this house for 6 years. Anytime we've ever had something that needed to be fixed, G had it fixed within 48 hours. G is the landlord everybody wishes they could have. Even when we could be late on rent, he's very understanding as long as we communicate. G has fixed everything. We've never had an issue with him. I even once asked him, man, why are you renting this house out to us so cheap? He told me it was a sad story, but he originally bought the house for his daughter, but his daughter and her fiance tragically passed in a car accident, and he hasn't had the heart to sell the house. He didn't want to just have it sit empty either, so that's why he's been renting it out. Even during COVID, when all that hit, my wife had lost her job and I took a pay cut. I asked G if it was possible for me to pay a couple of hundred less on rent, that way we could survive. G came to the home, talked to both me and my wife, told me that he would drop half the rent until all this COVID stuff was over with. And then once it's done, we can go back to the original contract. I thank this man with tears in my eyes, because with that extra money saved, we was able to keep afloat during COVID. I even told him, hey man, I could pay it all back once it was over. And he was like, that's okay. That's just the type of man that G is. Now my wife is 5 months pregnant. We hadn't seen G for about 6 months because he had some health scares. However, the day before yesterday, he was at the house letting us know that he's back okay, he's back healthy, and that he's ready to take back responsibility for the house, and that if anything goes wrong, to give him a call. He did notice my wife was pregnant because her belly was showing. So he asked how far along she was, and we told him, and a smile appeared on his face from ear to ear. And before he walked out, he said, hey, kids are expensive. So as a baby gift, how about we make the rent a even $1,000 until the baby is born? For the life of me, I have no idea why, but this set my wife off. She started yelling at G, calling him an old man, and that he was just looking down on us, and that he could take that gift and shove it right up his... My wife was yelling for 3 minutes, and every time I tried to stop her, she just got louder and louder and louder. She ended off the rant by saying, if he really wanted to give us a baby gift, he wouldn't make us pay rent at all, you stupid old man. G didn't say anything. He just stood there and took it all until my wife was done. His smile dropped and he left. I blew up at my wife. I was like, yo, G never did anything wrong to us. What the fuck is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? This man has never done anything bad to us. And then she started crying and refusing to talk to me. And for the next few days, I kept telling her, asking her why? Because I need an explanation. Why? And she just keep crying, giving me crocodile tears, but I'm on to it. So yesterday, I let her know tomorrow, after I get back home from work, we are going to talk about this. And I don't want to see any of the tears. I don't want to see no tears. I need answers. That day, G called me. He said we needed to talk. And I said, okay. He said he'd be at the house at 5 to talk to us. So I said, okay. G showed up at the house at 5 o'clock on the dot. He asked, could he come in? I said, yes. We sat down in the living room to talk, and he asked, could my wife join us? I said, yes. Once my wife joined us, he didn't want to revisit the conversation from the other day. He didn't ask why. He asked no questions. He just laid forth what we were going to be doing now until the lease is renewed. He let us know that the offer is no longer on the table. He let us know that the rent will be back at $1,600 due at the end of the month. No being late, no excuses. He let us know that after our lease is up at the end of the year, we are welcome to renew, but it will be at market rate, which is over a $1,000 increase. I tried to talk to him. He just got up and left. I blew up on my wife. I said, this is all your fault because right now, I can cover all the bills. My check can cover all the bills. However, my wife, who is white as a ghost at this point, stuttering, what are we going to do, knows that if the rent goes back up $1,000, we'll be living paycheck to paycheck like we were. I have a raise coming up in 14 months, but that's 14 months. At the end of the year, what are we going to do? She knows that her little part-time job won't be covering anything. So she was like, go talk to G, see what you could do. And I tried to talk to him, but he said only contact him if it has anything to do with the house. Our relationship is only tenant and landlord, no personal issues. She tried calling him. He just ignored her. I'm letting her know that, hey, this is all your fault. It's all on you. I'm mad at my wife, and she's calling me the a-hole because I'm mad at her, but it's her fault. I told her, once the rent goes back up $1,000 and it's $2,600 or even more than that, I might not be able to afford that. You probably have to go from part-time to full-time, or we need the downsize. And my wife wasn't happy with me when I said that, but I'm not happy with her because I'm letting her know, listen, this rent gonna go up $1,000 and you are going to be responsible for that. You the one that did it. So since you're working part-time, you're gonna have to go to full-time because you're gonna catch this extra $1,000. I'm not picking up any extra hours at work or any extra shifts. Like I said, I'm due for a promotion in 14 months. I'll be taking my manager job and I'm sure to get the job, but that's once he retires. And even when he retires, I'll be able to take care of it, but she'll still have to work part-time as well if she wants to stay in this house. But until then, in 14 months, she has to come up with this extra $1,000. Now, I know I might be a little biased on the situation because I'm stressed out about things I haven't had to stress out about in a while. Things I haven't even had to think about because G was so nice to us. But I feel like it's her fault and I have the right to be mad at her and that I'm not the a-hole. I think she's the a-hole in this situation and she's the reason that we're in this mess.